Greetings fellow Decepticons, Sandblaster1987 here with another Michael Bay Transformers review. Wait, what the? Oh, not again, Megatron. First you did it in the movie and now this. Let's try this again, shall we? Sorry about that fellow Decepticons, Sandblaster1987 here with my next Michael Bay Transformers live action toy review. Today I'll be looking at the Allspark Enhanced repaint of Jazz. Now, Jazz is one of those figures that I always wanted to see an improved figure of in more recent lines like Revenge of the Fallen, but of course, because he got split in half by Megatron at the end of the first movie, he never got the chance. Now, as you can see, here he is in his Pontiac Solstice mode. It's a slightly dull shade of grey compared to the silver he was in the film, but the grey does still have a bit of a metallic fleck to it if you look closely. He does come with his weapon accessory, his liquid nitrogen rifle, which can also extend into a sword for melee combat use, despite it looking like a harpoon at the end of it. And it can hook onto the back of his vehicle mode spoiler using this piece here, like so. And because of the hinge on the spoiler, it can angle back and forth so it can shoot down Starscream or Blackout if he's driving underneath them. For size comparison in this mode, here he is next to Tahu Nuva from LEGO Bionicle in his, Tahu Nuva warrior form. And here he is next to the Reveal the Shield version of Generation 1 Jazz, so you can see a relative size comparison. Because Porsche refused to allow Transformers for licensing to make Jazz's original vehicle mode again, the Reveal the Shield figure is basically a genericized hybrid of the original Porsche Martini race car and the Pontiac Solstice he turned into in the movies. So, to transform Jazz, what you want to do first is remove the weapon from the spoiler and put it to one side. Then unhook the spoiler from the back like so. And use this double hinge to fold it over the front of the windscreen like so. Gently pull to extend the sliding mechanism for the knee joints. Rotate them so that the wheels are facing towards the back like so. Then rotate these dummy wheels on the shins down into place like so. Same on both sides. Then come underneath and flip out the feet. Get your fingernails in there to dig out the heel spurs and flip those out as well. Again, same on both sides, a lot of symmetry with these Michael Bay figures in the early years of the 2007 line. Then what you want to do next is come around to the front section and carefully open out the car hood panels and use the accordion hinges on the front wheels to carefully get these sections out of the way, like so. It can be a little bit awkward, and don't try and force anything that doesn't want to go, because you don't want to risk breaking anything. Just gently ease these out of the way. Then what you want to do next is fold down the waist assembly like so, bring the hips into alignment, and snap that into place like so. Then what you want to do next is you want to continue unhooking these sections from the front like so. Bring these bits down. That'll free up a bit more clearance. Not so easy doing these things from behind, I have to admit, but needs must. Get these extended up like so. Then you want to bring that up, bring out the hand like so, and fold these panels in on themselves with a little double hinge inside like so. That will create the forearm. Then you want to bring the whole thing down like so. Then bring this piece all the way around to become a new shoulder piece, and bring the arm down on this hinge here. And same on both sides. That will free up the space you need for everything else. Just do everything exactly the same as you did before, but on the opposite arm. Swing it all around into place. And finally, what you want to do is bring the cockpit canopy or thread window section downwards and lock it into these two tabs on the back. And that in turn will auto-morph the head into place through a geared spring mechanism. Well, not springs, but panels aligning through the movement of internal gears. And here we have Jazz in his robot mode. Almost forgot, there's a spring-loaded section on the front bumper. You want to bring that out and then bring the side panels of the front bumper in on themselves like so to sort of compress the shape of the chest. And that completes Jazz's transformation. Now, this is part of the Allspark Power line that came out in 2008, just after the movie. So, as you can see, he's got all these really pale Allspark Blue paint apps to break up the slate grey metallic colour. And he can still hold his weapon by, having it mount the 5mm post onto the underside of the forearm panels. So just plug it in there and the hand just wraps around it. A little bit awkward, I know, but needs must. For size comparison, here is movie Jazz next to. Reveal the shield Jazz, so you can see he's not that much smaller than his G1 namesake. And here he is with the LEGO Bionicle 2003 Rahkshi drone, Vorahk. And here's the comparison you've all been waiting for. Masterpiece movie series MPM-08 Megatron. Now, I don't currently own the Masterpiece MPM-09 Jazz, but he is approximately around the same scale. Articulation-wise, Jazz has got a ball-jointed head, which is still a little stiff on my copy due to it being second-hand from eBay. And he's got an extremely pale visor as well for some really brilliant light piping, especially in summer weather. Then you've got a sort of double hinge accordion movement of the shoulders, as well as a forward and back swivel joint, which can get a little bit awkward and clashy on itself sometimes. You've got no bicep swivel, but you do have a double jointed elbow for transformation, and the transformation hinge allows the hand to move a little bit as well. You've got, nothing of the waist due to the way the transformation works, but you do have forward and back hips. No thigh swivel due to the way the transformation works, but you do have a swivel of a knee joint as well as a hinged knee that interferes with itself because of the way the car door panels just hang off his hips. You've got no ankle swivel or anything, but the ankles do rock forward and back for transformation purposes. Now, finally, the last thing I want to show off in this review before I conclude it is you can take the rear section and spoiler off the car altogether, off the robot mode's back. It's a little bit tough on my copy, so bear with me. It has to come off in a specific way so it doesn't stress the plastic too much. And now, this 5mm post here can be plugged into the front wheels on his shoulders to be an arm-mounted shield like so. Or it can mount onto this loop here on the weapon as a reference to the crescent-moon shaped shield that was attached to his weapon in the movie. The previous repaint release of this mold did have a more movie-accurate, already sculpted weapon, but sadly, this version goes back to the original using the spoiler as the shield method. So that more or less concludes my review of the Allspark Enhanced Jazz from the 2007 Michael Bay movie line. I've been Sandblaster1987. Thanks again for watching. My next toy review will be an AliExpress not Lego Battle Droid model that I recently acquired. Till then, till all are one.